knife off me.
Gary,
I thought you said
holding a knife.
Why don't you try and take it off? Give me the knife. Try and take it off me. Try and take it off me.
Give me the knife. Would you? Come on, man.
Gary, the knife down!
I'm sure you've seen this, but it's exactly the same case as mine. It was an accident, and this proves it. I didn't kill him. Didn't kill him. Didn't kill him.
Right. Yeah, okay. Well, if you could just fax them all through to me tomorrow morning, then that would be great. That would be great. Thanks.
Yes, boy, okay. There we go.
Pat North.
Okay.
I was literally just leaving. No. Right. I'll be straight with you.
Whoa! Hang on, I'm just coming. Hello. Listen, where the hell are you? It's after 8 o'clock. What? Yeah, what? Yeah, okay, look, hang on, they're at the door.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Hi there, come in. Listen, Sachi just arrived. Hang on a minute.
This is Katrina Roberts.
Hi, Katrina. Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Hi, and you. Happy birthday.
Oh, bless you. Thanks very much.
Oh, it's looking good in here.
Yeah, it is. Hey, I'm just talking to Pat. Be with you in a minute. Hey, so what time do you think you can get here? I've got everything timed. What? Yeah, you promise?
You're right.
Okay. Now get here as soon as you
Yeah,
can.
I can smell
Thanks,
something.
darling. Listen, look, pour yourselves a glass of wine, huh? Wine's on the table and the glasses are there.
Do you have any something born in Urban here?
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, they've brought in a new scheme.
Who have?
Well, the Home Office. They're sponsoring specially selected officers to be the future leaders of the police service.
Oh, God, and they have, what, about 10 years' experience between them?
Well, not in your case, Pat, because the Home Office has picked you.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you'll be guaranteed ACPO rank. The job I had in mind is a reinvestigation. It's like a criminal case review, but it's internal.
That sounds very interesting, yeah?
And you start Monday. What, do you fancy a glass of something to celebrate, man?
He said she went into the garden to get some mint, right? So I said, how long has your wife been missing, sir? 5 years, he said. 5 years? I said, so how come you only reported her disappearance last week? He said, well, I thought she'd done a runner, and I was glad to see the back of her. We found her dead body in the garden shed, still holding the sprig of mint.
We drive by then.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Happy birthday.
Hey, hi. It's all right. Hey, listen, this is
Hi.
Catherine.
Hi,
Catherine's
Fletch.
Pat.
Hi, good to meet you, Catherine.
It's Katrina.
Sorry, Katrina.
Yeah, glass of wine.
Great, thanks, Satch. Are you sure I can't give you a hand, Mike?
No, I'm fine, sweetheart. Everything's under control. Potatoes may be like bullets, but never mind. Just eat your melon.
Great, thanks. So, how's life, Satch?
No, not bad. Not bad at all. Apart from this bloody computer course I've been sent on, it's doing my nut. Not only do I have to get my head around all this techno jargon, but I also have to fight off the advances of our batty teacher, Melanie Crass.
Melanie Crass, that's not her real name, is it?
It is. I'm not joking. We've nicknamed, haven't we? Mad Mel. She's a total nightmare. She's like a cross between a computer nerd and a sex star ferret in glasses.
She keeps putting her hand on his leg, doesn't she, Dave?
She's rampant. Mind you, she doesn't know what she's doing. I don't know how she does it. She's so fast on the keyboard. Fingers like lightning. I tell you, if you ever wanted to hack into an i5, Mad Mel is your girl.
Doo-doo.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, great. Hope you like it.
Oh, thank you.
Can I have your plate, Satch?
Well, I thought that was very nice. I like my meat well done.
Pat, look at that.
Oh,
Pat, that's...
Wow.
must have cost us some.
Yeah, it's lovely, that.
Wow.
Really nice.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you.
You know, I've never had a proper watch before. Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
It's beautiful, darling. Yeah. Thank you. So, why are you so late anyway?
Chief called me in to see him. Told me that Home Office have headhunted me.
To do what?
Seems I'm being fast-tracked. They've identified some officers who have the potential to reach the top ranks.
You get a new car to go with it?
I doubt it. It's the Home Office.
You know, yeah, top detective sponsored by the Home Office. You know, my day we go on by hard work and results.
Are you saying I don't work hard?
Nah, well, it's bloody typical, isn't it? You know, you get guys like me who work the bollocks off from uniform up and in. Elbow time. What is this, feminist thing, huh? It's gender equity, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose we gotta get you women up the ranks somehow.
Because it's your birthday, I think I'm going to let that one pass.
Fine. Yeah, so you just go ahead and give me all the details about your high-rising career. I'm all ears.
No, I think I'll wait until you're in a better mood. Viv.
Hello, stranger.
Hi, what are you doing here?
Sir, this is Pat North. Pat, DCI George Allard.
Oh, good morning, sir.
I've heard you're on the Home Office sponsorship scheme.
Yeah, for my sins, yeah.
Well, congratulations. I hope you're up for the challenge.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Excuse me.
Great to see you, Viv.
Home Office, eh?
Yeah, first assignment.
Well, well, well. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How's Mike taking it?
Oh, don't ask.
I'll take it introductions have been done?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right, let's get started, shall we? You may well have heard of this case. James McCready sentenced to life 8 years ago for the murder of his partner, Gary Meadows. The Commissioner has agreed to reinvestigate because several pieces of new evidence have recently come to light. A deceased daughter, Fiona Meadows, was the only eyewitness to the crime. She was only 7 at the time and was too traumatized to give evidence at McCready's trial. Anyway, she's now come forward with a statement about the events leading up to the murder which support McCready's claim that the stabbing was an accident. As well as this, it's been brought to our attention that the prosecution pathologist, John Foster, whose evidence played a large part in convincing the jury of McCready's guilt, has recently, in a very similar case, argued a directly opposing view to the one he gave at McCready's trial. McCready's also managed to get MP and barrister Robert Rylands on his side, who wants to push the case as a gay rights issue.
He's concerned about being buggered in the next election.
I didn't know you could be an MP and a barrister at the same time.
He's very light on his feet. Right, now, the original investigation was led by Detective Superintendent Michael Walker, one of the Met's most experienced detectives.
Sorry for interrupting, sir. I think you ought to know Michael Walker's my partner.
Does that mean your being on this investigation's a problem?
Well, I think perhaps ethically it might.
I think we should just push on for now. Obviously, you can't discuss the case with him, but if it does pan out you feel unable to be part of the team, you'll be replaced. Unless by bringing it up now you wish to step back.
No, not at all. No, I just felt that you ought to be made aware of the situation.
Well, thank you. But I know Mike Walker. He's a damn good officer. Anyway, we're not investigating him. Our investigation is into the safety of McCready's conviction in the light of the fresh evidence Mike didn't have access to. All right?
Fine. If you're happy, I am.
I've been Jimmy's solicitor for many years, and I've been totally convinced of his innocence.
Mr. Duffield's been very helpful letting me have all the details of the original investigation and the trial.
I contacted Robert as soon as Jimmy showed me this newspaper article.
It's about a similar stabbing case where the same prosecution pathologist completely contradicts everything he said at McCready's trial.
Good to see you, Ben.
Mr. McCready, this is Roger Barker. Roger, James McCready.
Hello.
It's great to finally meet you after reading so much about you.
Roger runs a company called Area Television.
And I'd just like to say I think your story is absolutely fascinating. It's perfect for our miscarriage of justice program. We haven't actually got the green light on it yet, but the proposal is in with the network, and I'm 99% certain they'll go for it.
Well, that's fantastic. I really appreciate everything you're all doing. If there's anything I can do to help.
Well, obviously, I'm going to need all the help I can get to make sure we get this right. Look, we really want to pull the heartstrings on this one. So if you can think of anyone we should be speaking to, any friends or family, then you must let me know.
Well, there's the irony. You see, Gary and Fiona were my family and my best friends. I was far closer to them than any of my own family.
Yes, of course. We would like to try and interview Fiona, although I understand from Mr. Duffield that her foster parents are very protective, so we may have problems.
Yes, we don't want to cause any trouble for her at school.
I understand.
Right, page 1. James McCready, age 44, presently serving life. At the time of the murder in 1992, he was living with Gary Meadows and Meadows' daughter Fiona in a mobile home on an estate just outside Croydon. McCready's always maintained his innocence, claiming Meadows actually had the knife in his own hand and fell on it.
Okay.
I know. McCready never appealed because he had no grounds. No surprise there. But he's now trying to get his case back before the courts, which is why we're all gathered here. Oh, something else. There's one of those bloody TV documentaries in the offing. That'll stir things up. So we need to move on this as quickly as possible.
Robert tells me you still own the mobile home where it all happened.
Yes, unfortunately.
I've been trying to sell it on Jimmy's behalf for years, but I think people are believing the press hype about it being a murder scene.
I see. Well, I'm very sorry for you, Mr. Macready, but it's good news for us in terms of a convincing reconstruction.
Do you mean you want to film in it?
With your permission, I think it really could be quite powerful.
So, this reconstruction, will you have an actor playing me?
I don't think they'll let you out to do it. They won't have an actor playing me by any chance, will they?
Well, I shouldn't think so, unless you were there the night it all happened.
Oh, I see. I just thought that as I was so involved in preparing Jimmy's defence...
I'm afraid that legal paperwork doesn't make for very exciting television, Mr. Duffield.
Hang on a second, Ben. Do you really think this documentary could make a difference, though? 8 years I've been in here.
I don't want to raise your hopes too much, but I think it could.
I didn't kill Gary. Now, I know at the time I said that I killed him. I didn't mean it like that. My words were misinterpreted and taken out of context. To wake up and find the person you love lying dead beside you. We didn't think the wound was that bad. I should have called an ambulance, but I didn't. That's why I felt so guilty. But no one would believe me after.
Correction. The police didn't believe you.
Nothing to do with the fact that he's gay, of course.
No matter how hard the Met try to pretend they're all squeaky clean and PC, I still get the impression they'll always be a little bit homophobic.
Tell him about Detective Superintendent Walker. He made Jimmy's life hell, didn't he? Huh?
So what you're saying is the fact that you're gay may have played a part in your being convicted?
I'm sure of it.
Well, if that's the case, we could have a whole new angle.
Gay bashing in the Met. They're famous for it.
What do you think, Robert?
We'll have to tread a little bit carefully on that one.
And what was the arresting officer's name again?
Walker. Now, Detective Superintendent Michael Walker.
I think we've ordered enough for 4 again. Now, that's the prawn and ginger, yeah? So, is that the chicken? Sweet and sour chicken?
No, I think so.
Great. Mike, we need to talk.
Yeah, I know. Look, I've been feeling really bad about the way I behaved the other night. I'm sorry. I just want you to know I'm right behind you on this. I'm really pleased you're at last getting the recognition you deserve. I mean it. Hey, eat up.
Thanks, because I know it must be hard for you. But that's not the reason
Mine's
that
hard for me. You're the one under pressure. That's not chicken. Pork.
Mike, this reinvestigation that I'm working on, do you think you could just give me a minute's concentration? Mike, you eat too fast. Anyway, it's a case that you headed up. No, I'm serious. James Macready, serving life for the murder of... He's trying to revive the case.
James Macready, sent down for killing his boyfriend.
Apparently there's fresh evidence.
I don't bloody believe it.
George Allard's heading this reinvestigation, and he's a bit of a fan of yours, and doesn't see why my working on it should be a problem.
What should it be? I did nothing wrong.
No, of course not.
Macready's boyfriend was married, you know. Well, he ran off to discover he was a Nancy boy. Hey, do you want some more rice?
No, I'm fine.
Meadows. That was the boyfriend's name, wasn't it? I think he eventually got custody of the child after her mother topped herself. Probably after she found out she was married to a poofter.
She's living with foster parents now, apparently.
And you, meeting her?
Macready? Yeah, probably, eventually. Do you know what I could really do with?
What?
Some banana fritters.
Oh. Excuse me. Don't let Macready hoodwink you. He's very good at playing coy. They all are.
Yeah, can we give the homophobic remarks a miss, do you think?
That wasn't what I meant. What I was going to say was these bastards bleeding for appeal all turn it on. I'm innocent. Taxi!
You're doing it again now, Mike. Stop it. I'm not even supposed to discuss the case with you.
I know, but you just can't help yourself, can you?
Mike, stop it.
Listen, do you think any intelligent person is going to believe that bullshit about it being an accident? The knife was sticking from the middle of his back, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, I've got to draw my own conclusions on that.
Meaning what? Taxi! Do you see this yellow light on? Bastards.
Look, we're looking at the new evidence, not at you, Mike. Don't be so paranoid.
I'm not paranoid. Why do you keep calling me paranoid? You're the one getting your knickers in a twist. I should have got that cab's number.
Why don't we just walk home? It's not that far.
Fine, fine. Whatever you want, you're the boss.
I knew I should never have agreed to stay on this investigation. I just knew it.
No, I'm glad you are. At least I can keep tabs on any dirt you dig up.
Why, is there any?
Well, if there is, Miss Marple, I'm sure you'll find it.
As you know, the caravan hasn't been used for a while, so it'll probably be quite dusty inside. I'm waiting for Mr. Macready's barrister, so I'll let you in. And we'll hop in afterwards, if that's right.
Yes, thank you. Be a bit of a crush in there. Perhaps we should go in two separate groups.
Yeah, good idea. I'll come in with you, if that's all right.
No, go ahead.
God, it's musty. Leave the door open, will you?
Right. Is the electricity on?
I'm afraid not. Right, let's start in the bedroom.
Okay. So, the fight or argument, whatever it was, supposedly started in here.
Cleaners did a pretty comprehensive job.
Yeah. Glass topper dressing table broken, ditto mirror near the door closed, cologne thrown to the floor. Forensic reports identified Gary Meadows' blood all over the left-hand side of the bed, dripping through to the floor, forming a pool on the carpet, and a small amount of smearing from Macready, especially on the right-hand side of the bed.
So how does Meadows get onto the bed?
Well, certainly not dragged. That would have left traces on the carpet. Carried, theoretically possible, not easy within the confines of a caravan, as you can see. No, Macready's lawyer said that Gary Meadows walked to the bed, assisted by Macready.
So however he got there, he actually died on the bed?
Possibly. The bleeding on the bed could indicate he was still alive when he got there, yeah.
How long between stabbing and death?
Oh, well, this was the problem, because our pathologist said definitely no more than 5 minutes. The defence expert said it could have been 20 minutes, could even have been half an hour.
So argument started in here, death occurred in here. What happened in between?
OK, Macready's version is they continue arguing, moving out into the hallway. At some point, Meadows turns, runs into the kitchen here, grabs a kitchen knife with an 8-inch blade from, I presume, the carving set, yeah? And then the argument becomes very heated with Meadows threatening Macready with the knife.
So they move further into the kitchen?
Yeah, and most of the bloodstains out here were in fact Macready's.
And Macready says he received a slash to the forearm and to the palm of his hand, apparently trying to defend himself and struggling to get the knife off Meadows.
Yeah, and so now, according to Macready, he follows Meadows around the kitchen, still trying to get this knife, which he claims Meadows puts behind his back and out of reach. Meadows then backs towards this wall, with Macready heading towards him, until Macready trips on the rug. Yeah, there we go. So Macready trips, making him lunge towards Meadows, who in turn is pushed back and onto the knife. Meadows then removes the knife from his back, tells Macready he's stabbed himself. Macready then admits to taking the knife, putting it into the sink, and then coming back to help Meadows into the bedroom.
Meadows' daughter Fiona witnessed the incident from her bedroom doorway. She claims Macready told her to go back to bed, that her daddy was feeling poorly. After assuring her everything was fine, she states she saw her father going into his bedroom. Very good lighting.
Yeah, so she goes into there, Macready goes into the bedroom, and then he comes back to fetch a glass of brandy, which he does. So he takes the brandy into the bedroom and gets into bed himself.
What I meant was neither Mike Walker nor Dave Satchel would be stupid enough to meddle with evidence and put the wrong man away.
Well, excuse me all over the place.
Oh, look, just stop stirring. Pat's a very conscientious officer. No way would she want any dirt attached to her.
That MP's probably got the hots for Macready, and all this is giving him a hold on.
It's your turn, I think.
Thank you.
Robert, came over as soon as I got the news. show's been greenlit. That's the good news. Bad news is they want it in the new season, so we'll be working to an impossibly tight schedule. Oh, this is my PA, Lucy. Lucy, this is Robert Rylands, QC and MP, and Ben Duffield, Mr. Macready's solicitor.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to keep you waiting, Robert. Hopefully they won't be long, then we can have our locus in quo.
We'd like to take some Polaroids inside the caravan and set up a storyboard.
Shouldn't be a problem. We'll just have to wait until the investigation team leaves.
Hey, do you think I could get an interview with one of them?
You want me to speak to them?
I'm sure Roger can handle that.
Hi. You're back early?
Hi there. Yeah. I've got an early start tomorrow. Hey, sweetheart.
Hi, how are you?
How was your day?
It was fine. It's quite an interesting case.
Yeah? Any conclusions yet?
No, hardly. Still trying to get our heads around all the paperwork. Oh, sweet. It's a card from Satch and Katrina to say thanks for dinner.
Yeah, she has got him right under her thumb. So, what are you up to today?
I don't think that I should discuss the details with you just to be on the safe side, yeah?
Okay. Absolutely. All right. You, want a cup of tea?
Yeah, great.
Do you fancy watching the movie tonight?
Yeah, what's on?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh.
You okay?
No. I've been feeling a bit sick, actually.
Yeah, are you eating something dodgy? Listen, it could have been the Chinese, because I feel fine.
No, I think it was this disgusting lukewarm pasty that I had for lunch.
You know, my mum always used to make hot brandy toddies for wobbly stomachs. Can I get you anything?
No, but you can tell me what the hell you think you're doing.
I just saw my name in the file and I was just curious, that's all.
Come on, Phil, that's not good enough. How dare you go through my briefcase?
Dear, oh, come on, Pat. I was hardly going through it.
No, that is not the point. It is sensitive enough, me working on this case without you snooping around behind my back.
Will you just calm down, for God's sake? I was just naturally curious about what was going on, that's all.
Oh, right, and if I don't tell you, then you'll search amongst my things until you find out. Is that it?
Will you stop me so bloody dramatic? It's not as if I've got anything to worry about.
Well, yeah, so you keep telling me, but the way you've been fishing for information, I'm actually beginning to wonder.
Yeah? Well, that is just great. You're worried about being biased in my favour? Well, I'm worried about you turning them against me. Well, that's fine. You play it your way. But don't ever come crying to me when you want answers.
All right, go on then. Go on, run off. Run away when there's any problem, like you always do.
I won't even dignify that with a response. You know, I have never run away from anything or anybody in my life. None. I'm just checking out the safety of the conviction. Apparently, there's no suggestion of any misconduct on our part.
Oh, great. So we're constantly put through the ringer while the bloody criminals get the red carpet treatment again.
Yeah, and apparently Macready's got this hotshot MP who's pushing it through.
Yeah, I bet he's a shirtlifter too. Oh, that's right. Finish the nuts.
Hey, Pat's getting hot under the collar about us living together. You know how paranoid she gets, so we better stay stum about the Glasgow business, okay?
Wow, that sounds like they're sniffing out something already.
They haven't started yet, but we better start singing from the same song sheet when they do.
Mike Walker. Leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you.
Mike, if you're not intending to come home tonight, you could at least have the decency to give me a call.
There was someone here. Look. Blast!
Dave.
Bloody get me out of this. Hurry up, man.
I'll be with you in a minute, mate. I just want to check on you, will you?
God, we said that half an hour ago.
Yeah, go back to bed.
Hi, Saj. Sorry to call so late, but pubs are shut, so I knew you'd be here. Hang on, come on, Saj. Just let me in.
No, he's a bit pissed. I think it's probably best if you leave it tonight, yeah?
Leave it. Do you two not have any idea what I'm in the middle of?
Don't drag me into the middle of this. Whatever's going down between you two has nothing to do with me, Ben.
What is going down, Saj, is that I'm on a team re-investigating the murder of Gary Meadows. Now, you both worked on that case, so you're both in the middle of it, whether you like it or not. Actually, tell him not to bother coming home.
You yourself refused to grab.
I must have heard where it was.
Be buried here in Cheltenham.
You're gonna have to tell her about Glasgow.
I was watching that.
Stop pissing about, Mike. You may not give a shit about your career, but I care about mine. I'm not taking any flack for you, I mean it.
Your career? I made your freaking career, sunshine. You were happy enough to bathe in the glory.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to wallow in your shit because it's going to come out, Mike.
No, it isn't. There's no records, no Holmes database back then. Nothing is going to come out about me, McCready, because there's nothing on paper. Go back to Caroline.
Katrina.
Yeah, whatever. Look, I'll just watch the end of this and see myself out.
Yeah, whatever. If you want my advice, you come clean about Glasgow, yeah?
From here, I think the wound should look consistent with the story that I shall tell.
All set?
Yeah.
How's Mike?
Oh, probably hungover, feeling sorry for himself. To be honest, I'm starting not to care.
Sorry I asked.
No, everyone said it wouldn't work, and to be honest, I think they were probably right.
Right, our foster parents are Joan and Alistair Plover. I spoke to Mrs. Plover earlier on, and apparently Fiona's quite nervy. But by all accounts, an intelligent kid.
So no statement was taken from her after the murder, right?
Apparently not. She was very traumatised, couldn't speak. So she couldn't be interviewed.
Bit odd.
How's her tummy?
Oh, fine. I still feel a bit queasy, but then under the circumstances, who wouldn't? Viv Watkins, we spoke on the phone.
We've had the TV people bombarding us with phone calls. One even turned up at the house yesterday, but I refused to let them see Fiona. This has all been very nerve-wracking for her.
Sure.
Mr. McCready's solicitor, Mr. Duffy's spoken to her a couple of times too. Would you like a tea or coffee?
I won't, thanks.
Not for me, thanks.
Fiona came to us straight after it all happened. It was not easy to begin with, but she's settled down very well. She's a lovely girl. No one knows at her school. She doesn't like talking about it. Only the headmistress knows we had to tell her.
Right.
And has Fiona had any contact with Mr. McCready over the years?
Well, she has recently expressed an interest in going to see him, but we've managed to put her off so far. Please, come through.
Thanks. Mr. Duffield, what are you doing here?
Fiona's a defense witness.
Mr. Duffield's come to lend his support.
I'll just sit quietly here. Don't worry about me.
Mum! Oh, Fiona, come on in. This is Kat and Vivian. They're from the police.
Hi, Fiona. Come in. Come and sit down. You've been out running.
No skateboarding.
She's on it from morning till night. We've promised to take her to the skateboarding world championships in Miami.
Ah.
Sit down, darling.
No, I'm sorry to have to go through all this with you, Fiona, but what we need you to do is to tell us in your own words and in your own time exactly what happened the night that your father died. Now, you need to tell us everything. It doesn't matter how insignificant it might seem. Oh, and we need to record it, okay? Right. Okay, Fiona. In your own time.
Well, I was in bed asleep. The music woke me up first. It was really loud. I heard Dad shouting, and then Jimmy. They often argued. Sometimes when they got angry with each other, I hid. You know, they used to scare me. I saw my dad running up and down the hallway. He had a knife, and Jimmy was running after him.
So where were you at this time?
In my bedroom doorway.
I'm sorry, go on.
Well, I seem to remember Jimmy trying to get the knife, and they started struggling with it.
And did you see Jimmy get cut?
I think so. I remember his arm bleeding.
Right, okay, so they're struggling with this knife, and then what happened?
Dad put the knife behind his back to hide it from Jimmy. And the next minute, Jimmy fell against him, and my dad hit the wall hard. Dad said not to worry. He was fine. And he went back into their bedroom.
And did he walk back, or did Jimmy carry him?
I guess he must have walked back on his own, because I remember Jimmy coming over to me and kissing me. He said we were all friends again.
Okay, and then what happened?
Jimmy went into the kitchen looking for some bandages, and I went back to bed.
And when did you realise that something bad had happened?
The next morning when I saw Jimmy crying, and the ambulance arrived, he'd been sobbing and shouting, waiting for them to come.
You okay? Sorry, I know this must be very upsetting for you. And I know that this must be a very difficult question to answer, but why do you think you've remembered all this now?
Well, I totally blocked it out of my mind. All I knew that it was an awful time and I couldn't bear thinking about it. It wasn't until Mr. Duffield came to see me that I forced myself to think back. And then I realised I was the only one who could help Jimmy.
Okay, good, well done. I think we've got all we need for today.
Keith Tanner, 2 N's, like Elsie Tanner in Coronation Street.
So, Mr. Tanner.
Keith.
Keith, you were serving in the bar on the night Gary Meadows died?
Yeah, landlord threw a surprise party for me because I was leaving in the morning for Marbella. I was there for 18 months. Didn't know anything about this Gary Meadows thing till I got back. Number 9, come and get it! Look, I told all this to some solicitor bloke, Duffield. Do you know?
Yes, I know him. But the police never questioned you.
Well, like I said, I was in Spain. I moved around, working as a DJ. By the time I got back, Jimmy was in prison. Anyway, wouldn't have been able to help the police with anything. Only knew the lads because this was their local.
Anytime you're Lambeth way, any evening, any day, you'll find a soul doing the Lambeth walk. Oi! Every little Lambeth boy, very funny, with his little Lambeth toy, you'll find a soul doing the Lambeth walk. Oi!
And that night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary about them?
You're joking. It was off my face. Barely remembered my own name by the end of the evening. They were nice guys, though. Very friendly to everyone. You know, You probably ought to talk to Eva. She claims she helped the police with the investigation, but apparently she was never called for the trial.
Eva?
Eva Widelski. And don't ask me to spell it. It's a Polish name. She lives on the same caravan site. She's some kind of mystic. Well, she is when she's sober. Maybe she knows something. I don't know. Jimmy would never have killed Gary. No way. Excuse me.
Swing me just a little bit higher, oh, but I do. I was on the stage for 30 years. Musical comedy. You ever go down the old Tivoli Music Hall by the Strand? I had a regular spot. Would you like a sherry?
Thank you, no. Were you interviewed by the police at the time of the murder?
Kind of. I had an officer come round. Do you remember? A little of what your fancy does you good. I worked there as Vesta Tilly. I'm following in Father's footsteps. I'm following the dear old dad. He's just in front.
This officer who came round, do you recall his name?
No, he was shortish. Well built, though. Dark hair. Nice young fella.
Was he Scottish?
I can't remember that.
So what did he ask you about?
Well, it was in my other professional capacity as a clairvoyant. I've helped out in quite a few cases in the past. In fact, I've got a scrapbook.
So what exactly did this officer want you to do?
Well, he had a glass with him in a plastic bag, and he wanted to know if I could get anything from it.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes I can get mental images from touching certain objects. I do drawings. I also do seances. I charge £25 for tarot, 25 for palm, and 50 for an astrology chart. All complimentary to the police, of course.
And were you able to give the officer any information with regard to this glass, you said?
It was a brandy glass, and I got a very clear picture from it. So I drew it for the officer.
And what was it of?
Well, that was the strange thing. It was a fireplace. Yeah, not a very special one. Old, cheap tiles, a square, 40s style. It came through very clearly.
I don't suppose you still have the drawing?
Of course. I never give away the original. I always make a copy for the client. There you go.
So, where was this fireplace then?
Oh, no idea. These images are just sent through me. Maybe it was somebody else's fireplace. You know, someone else broke into my mind.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Widelski.
Did you know they're doing a documentary on this case? McCready's solicitor came to see me, clutching a newspaper cutting. Appalling bloke, accompanied by some television producer. I doubt I'll be making my screen debut. I don't think I passed the audition. My interpretation of the script did not suit them. This way. I've had these made up. Thompson, and your case, Meadows.
Well, our problem is the defence are saying that comparison with the Thompson case suggests that you may have shifted your ground.
No, absolutely not. That's the trouble with laymen. They think they understand it all, and they don't. You are not comparing like with like here.
Well, it doesn't look like that to me. The description of damage to the heart inflicted by the knife in each case reads exactly the same. But then, I'm only a layman.
But they were different wounds entirely. Look at the angle the knife went in here in Thompson as against here in the Meadows case.
Look, it says in here, there's 2 cardiac surgeons consulted by the defence describe the damage in each case as virtually identical.
What's this?
The surgeon's statements.
We medical folk are notorious for contradicting each other.
Yeah, but not for contradicting yourself. Look, if Thompson, and I'm quoting from your evidence in that case, could well have survived for 20 minutes to half an hour after sustaining his injury, why couldn't Meadows?
Well, I deduced from the forensic evidence.
You dismissed any question of 20 minutes at Macready's trial, saying, and I quote, he'd be dead within 5 minutes, unquote.
Yes, I did, and I stand by that.
But, Dr. Foster, bearing in mind your views on the Thompson case, you can't totally rule out the possibility that Meadows could have been alive for 20 minutes to half an hour, can you?
Well, no.
Yes, but you see, some uncharitable counsel in the Court of Appeal might suggest that the distinguishing feature between the two cases was that in Meadows, you were for the Crown. In Thompson, you were retained by the defence.
That is completely preposterous. I utterly refute it.
I'm sure it is, Dr. Foster. But at least you'll be ready for it if it is suggested. Forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just slap it on. If you blend it in, that'll work really well. Okay, look, before we do a take, we'll just walk it through.
Hello, Lucy. How's it going?
Right. Yeah, they're just going to do a rehearsal. So
Just stay there.
just watch the light.
And cue smoke.
Why do they need smoke?
Atmosphere.
And action.
Gary, give me the knife. Stop this! What you've done to me, Gary?
Stay away from me, I'm warning you. I'll do a lot worse, Jimmy.
You've had too much to drink. Now give me the knife!
Well, come and get it then, Jimmy. If you want it. Come on!
Gary, give me the knife now!
Bill, keep to your right. Don't block Derek from the camera. Now, go for the lunge! Good, excellent. All right, Phil?
No, I dropped the knife. I can't get in the right position to stab myself.
Yeah,
It
okay,
doesn't-
no, that's fine. Look, we'll try it again. We'll take it from Phil, your line. Come and get it, okay? No, back here.
Do you think they'll interview me in here?
I doubt it.
And action.
Well, come and get it then, Jimmy.
Gary, give me the knife now!
Come on!
Look good to me.
No, you dropped the knife again.
Look, Roger, it's impossible to hold on to the knife. Right? It's natural for me to drop it to stop myself from falling.
Yeah, just hold the smoke for a minute, will you? Look, it's all right. Just take your time. Pace it. There's no need to rush. Cut the smoke!
I'm not rushing. I'm just saying that I have to hold the knife in my left hand, and I'm right-handed.
Well, so is Gary Meadows.
Yeah, okay, look, there's no problem. We'll do a close-up of you, Derek, and then we'll cut back to Phil with a knife in his back.
Well, I shouldn't really do that, Roger. I mean, it's supposed to be as it happened, and if he can't do it, then how did Gary Meadows do it?
What is the matter with you people? It's not as if I'm asking you to do anything difficult. You just get the knife in position and fall back on it. Now try it again. Oh. Action.
Well, come and get it then, Jimmy. Come on!
Give me the knife now, Gary!
Come on.
Hey, I did it. All right, Lucy, he did it.
Yeah. Third time lucky, eh?
Mrs. Collingwood?
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Pat North. This is Viv Watkins. Could you spare us a few minutes, do you think? We'd like to ask you some questions about the Gary Meadows murder.
I was wondering when somebody was going to come talk to me. I see you up at Jimmy's place. Mr. Duffield said to expect you.
Oh, Mr. Duffield certainly gets around.
Please wipe your feet. It's my new carpet, shag pile. It's still fluffing up. It's terrible for my asthma. Chronic. I do nothing but hoover.
Right, now, you ready, Vera? Now, I've got your original statement here, which says that you were one of the last people to see Gary Meadows alive.
I suppose so. It was after midnight.
I've been babysitting Fiona. Well, no, not at their place. I used to pop in and out when I lived opposite. I moved here a few months back. That night I come outside because I heard them coming home. Both a bit tipsy they were, fooling around.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Vera, could we just go back on that? You actually came out of your caravan?
Yes, I did. They were such lovely boys, very friendly, and very good fathers to that little girl. They gave me a few quid for popping in on Fiona. I'm a pensioner now, and I haven't been able to work for a while because of my asthma. Anyway, that night, I said good night, and I went back inside, and they went back in their place. I heard loud music, and I could see them silhouetted at the window. I heard shouting, and I looked over. The loud music was still playing. I could see them passing to and fro. I thought they was dancing. The loud music was still playing. And then I saw them in the bedroom. It looked like they was drinking. Then the lights went out. Next morning, there was this howling. And then the ambulance. Poor Gary was dead. Shocking. It was terrible. But Jimmy would never have harmed him. He loved him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Vera, but it's really important that we get this straight because in your original statement, there's no reference to your seeing Gary and Jimmy at the bedroom window.
Well, I did see them at the bedroom window. Then the lights went out.
Well, you originally said you saw them coming home, but there's no reference at all to your seeing them at the window.
Well, I did tell them. You going to be in the TV show?
No, we're not.
Well, Eva Widelsky said that she is, and she didn't even know the boys.
I'm sorry, who's Eva Widelsky?
Oh, she lives over on the west side. Says she's a clairvoyant. She's an alcoholic, that's what she is.
Now, this is where Vera lived at the time, isn't it?
Yeah, she must have good eyesight.
Yeah, as well as a very good memory. She's a widow, isn't she? Pensioner. She got any family? I mean, she must know someone with some cash compared to that old one. That's a pretty upmarket home she's got there. Oh, hello.
Detective Superintendent Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I'm Roger Barker, Area Television. I asked at your station. They said you weren't due in till 11, so I thought I'd come round and...
The station gave you my home address?
Well, not exactly. We have a research department.
What's this about?
Well, surely you want to defend the decisions you made.
Right now, I haven't made any decisions. No one's been charged, and you know I can't discuss an ongoing case.
Well, this case isn't exactly what you might call ongoing.
This isn't about the Mint murder, is it?
No, we're making a documentary about the James McCready case. Now, if you just care to answer a few questions, preferably on camera. You originally arrested James McCready,
Roger
correct?
Barker. Roger, take my advice and get out of my face.
Look, this is your opportunity.
Get the hell out of it.
Hello, Mr. McCready. How do you do? I'm Detective Inspector Pat North. This is Detective Constable Vivian Watkins. Do you sit down?
Thanks very much for coming to see me. Sorry I kept you waiting, but it was lunch. They don't let us out for anyone if they're serving up the nosh. I think it's something to do with the officer's lunch break, and one of them has to walk me from my wing.
It's fine. As you know, we'd like to ask you some questions for the purposes of this reinvestigation.
Ask me anything you want. I've nothing to hide. All I want is the chance to appeal.
Well, I'd like you to describe, in your own words, the events that led up to Gary Meadows' death.
Right. My lover, Gary Meadows, and I, we've been together for about 4 years. We looked after his daughter, Fiona, between us. Shared the school runs, cooked and washed, kept house together. And we were a family. I loved him a great deal. Before Gary, I'd never had a long-term relationship. That's not to say we were all lovey-dovey. We had our ups and downs like any couple. Usually, we only argued if Gary had been drinking. He was the kind of person that could get a bit punchy. No, that's not the right word. It was more like... Look, he only ever got angry about things when he'd had a few drinks. Liked to pick arguments, you know. I think he sometimes got a bit edgy about his sexuality. I mean, I've always known I was gay, but he was married before we met, worked on a building site. Oh, hang on a second. This is Gary. It's taken a few months before he died. I always carry it.
Right, thanks. Tell me about the night he died.
Oh, we'd been to Butterflies in Soho. It was a gay club. It was cabaret night, and I did my Blondie rip-off. Got up on the stage, you know, impromptu act. Too late because of Fiona. We left quite early. But as we passed our local, we remember there was a lock-in that night for Keith, the barman. He was off to Marbella doing a DJ job. Pub's not far from the caravan site. We had quite a skinful. Didn't leave the pub until about midnight.
And, did you have a babysitter? Fiona must have been, what, about 7?
No, but the woman next door, Vera Collingwood, would check on her from time to time. Fiona knew her well. It wasn't as if we'd left her alone. We got in. And Gary wanted to carry on drinking, but I asked him not to. He'd had enough. And he started playing music really loud, you know, to open up the whole site, never mind Fiona. And we started bickering. Tried to calm him down, but he was in a real rage, and he ran into the kitchen. Next minute, he's dancing around in front of me, waving a knife.
I'm trying to take it off me.
I tried to get it from him, but caught my hand on the blade, here. I was annoyed and upset, you know, it was bleeding. And I begged for him to give me the knife, but he wouldn't. I managed to get hold of it, but Gary wouldn't let go, and in a struggle, he slashed my arm. Here. Oh, well, this time I was really... quite angry, to be honest. And I went after him. He swishes the knife in front of him like this. And then when I try to get it from him, he switches the knife from his right hand into his left and puts his arm behind his back, goading me. I said, give me the knife, Gary. Give it to me, please. As I moved towards him, I tripped.
And why did you trip?
I don't know, I just tripped on the rug. Fell against him really hard. He sort of moaned. I said I was sorry, I didn't mean to hurt him, and then he says, "Oh my God, Jimmy, I've stabbed myself."
He became bloody abusive, threatened to throw me off the premises. So it looks like there'll be no Walker interviewing the show, unlike Mr. Duffield, with enough footage of him for a 4-hour mini-series.
Yes, he's an abrasive little sod, isn't he, Walker? And I've just been told we may have even more reason to get the Police Complaints Authority to open an external investigation. I've found out that one of the officers investigating our case is actually living with him.
Oh, that'll make explosive coverage. Good, good. Oh, and I've got something else. A clairvoyant. How worthwhile it'll be to put her in the documentary is questionable.
Did you say a clairvoyant?
Yes. It never came out at trial, but apparently one of the investigating officers went round to see her. It might have been Walker, we don't know. She can't remember a name. But whoever it was took her a glass to see if she could get any spiritual vibes from it.
You're not serious.
I am. I'm sure the PCA will be very interested to hear that the Met is so in touch with its spiritual side.
We shared a glass of brandy. I checked Gary's cup, but it didn't even look deep. And then... Well, you know, I was cut bad. I was tending to myself as well, and...
Mind if I interrupt here, Mr. McCready? At what point did Fiona come out of her bedroom?
While I was helping Gary to the bedroom, he turned and saw her in her bedroom doorway. She must have seen everything. Gary told her to go back to bed. You know, she was a bit upset. You know. What with us shouting and carrying on. So I kissed her, said we were all friends again.
We were all friends again?
Yeah, Fiona was like my own kid. We were a proper family. I really miss her. 8 years we should have had together. 8 years. But no one would listen to me after. Walker had me down as a murderer from day one. He wouldn't listen to the truth.
It is understandable in a way, Mr. McCready. When you called the ambulance, you said, "I've killed him, he's dead, I think he's dead." That is what you said, Mr. McCready, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but my words were taken out of context. The time I thought I had killed him. It was me who tripped and fell against him. It was me who caused the accident. I'd gone to sleep next to him. I believed him when he said he wasn't badly injured, so I didn't call an ambulance. It's all I could think of at the time. It was my fault. Still live with that guilt. But after that, Walker wouldn't listen to me. Kept saying, "You killed him." Kept on. "You killed him. You killed him." After that, he got crude, making disgusting remarks about me and Gary. He was always making nasty remarks about me being gay, calling me a queen. It was horrible. Disgusting the way he treated me.
Do you notice how similar their descriptions were?
Whose?
McCready's and Fiona's. I mean, it's a bit odd, isn't it? 8 years on, they both remember word for word the exact phrase McCready used after he kissed her goodnight.
I didn't notice. What was it?
Well, they both remember him saying, "We're all friends again." What time we meet tomorrow?
9. Conference room. Assess findings to date. What about Mike?
What about him?
Oh, come on, Pat. I know him. You know him. You think he overstepped the mark?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Review the interview tapes. Got to look into it.
OK, I'll get onto it first thing tomorrow. Pat?
Oh.
Pat, what's the matter?
Oh, God, I feel terrible. I think I'm going to faint.
Can I get you anything? Water?
No, it's all right, I'll be fine.
You OK, yeah?
Yeah. Sorry about this. Oh, God.
As you could imagine, this cohabitation is a matter of considerable concern to myself and Mr. McCready. I find it hard to believe that DI North could remain impartial.
Well, absolutely. We will be interviewing DCI Allard and DI North, but let me update you on PCA procedure. Now, I have already organised for an external investigating team to take over, led by Assistant Chief Constable John Stanley from Sussex Police. Now, his people will review all the statements, re-interview all the relevant witnesses to determine whether police procedure was followed correctly. And I personally will supervise the investigation and keep you informed of any major developments.
Yes. Another major concern my client has voiced is that Detective Superintendent Walker was extremely hostile towards him during the original investigation. He describes Walker's attitude as aggressively homophobic, and he strongly believes that had a definite bearing on the initial interviews and on his conviction. Of course, Walker was careful to behave very correctly during the interview while it was being recorded, but when the tape was switched off, he was very abusive.
According to McCready, listen, we will consider all the issues, Mr. Rylance, but our two main areas of investigation are: one, was any evidence suppressed or indeed abused in any way? And two, was the investigation actually run properly by Detective Superintendent Walker? So let me assure you, any factors that may have led to an inappropriate conviction will come out in the wash. Believe me.
Thank you for your immediate attention. I do appreciate it.
Well, every case is given our attention, Mr. Rylance. You can jump the queue. But as McCready's appeal is looking likely...
As is the television documentary.
I hear you. Loud and clear. Thanks. I got Tums, Vicodol.
Yeah, and I can see what else you've got. Oh, come on, Vivian, at my age.
You don't have to be a teenager to get caught out, you know. You've been showing all the right symptoms recently, and that'll put your mind at rest.
No, it'll put your mind at rest. I'm not. It could have been that pasty, it might have been that corned beef hash I had yesterday. I know I'm not pregnant.
So test yourself and prove it. That's a simple one. If you get a pink dot, you are, and if you don't, you're not. For $9.99, you might as well.
$9.99?
I've just been informed the Police Complaints Authority have taken over the investigation. As such, they will gather their own team from outside the Met. We're all off the case. The external force begins this afternoon. I suggest we give them every cooperation. Mr. Rylance obviously has friends in high places.
Zeta Salinger, Police Complaints Authority. Assistant Chief Constable John Stanley, Sussex Police. Now, it's important you understand that the Police Complaints Authority is an independent organisation. We're not connected to the police in any way. It's our job to investigate your complaint. So, I've organised for an external team, led by Assistant Chief Constable John Stanley here, to look into the handling of the original police investigation, which means that all officers connected to your case will be questioned, as will all the witnesses. And if we find any irregularity or indeed any form of wrongdoing, it'll be put on the record.
Will this affect my appeal?
That depends on what we find. Take me through what happened the night Mr. Meadows died.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is Gary. It's taken a few months before he died.
James McCready was sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of his partner, Gary Meadows. Did the prison governor get back to us about filming at the prison?
I don't know. Tom was sorting it out, but he's gone to Glasgow for something or other. Do you want me to check?
Well, somebody bloody well should. We're scheduled to shoot there on Tuesday. Jeez. Where was I?
Facing camera.
Oh, you are getting overconfident, Lucy. This is Roger Barker, Area Television, presenting Miscarriage of Justice. Today I am outside Garton Prison, where James McCready is serving a life sentence for the murder of his partner, Gary Meadows. James McCready, brought up in... Hornchurch. James McCready, brought up in Hornchurch, Essex... Yes, Roger Barker. Tom? No, Tom, you're cutting out. Yeah, okay, I got you. What? Oh, this is brilliant. No, are you sure about this? Ha! For God's sake, double check it, Tom. We can't afford mistakes. We've just struck gold. Our Detective Superintendent Walker more than knew McCready. He tried to charge him for a murder at Glasgow.
Another murder? Is that necessarily a positive thing, Roger?
Yeah. No, hang on, I'm still here. Look, give me all the details later. Listen. Did we get permission to film outside Garton Prison or not?
So, in summary, starting in the north. Dry at first, but rain will spread into all areas, giving a
Hi. Oh, you look like you had a good day.
The PCA have taken over the case. We've all had our marching orders.
Light sunshine. Rain later in the day with a light southerly breeze.
They've used me and our relationship as one of the main reasons why the inquiry should now be handled externally. I knew I should have stood down.
So them bloody idiots.
The PCA are not idiots, Mike. They've got one of their top members overseeing it, Zita Salinger. Heard of her?
No, sounds like a tennis racket.
She's a trained barrister, pretty clever, quite a reputation. They call her the Piranha.
Is it supposed to be making me feel better?
No, it's just the truth.
You don't think I'm being truthful, do you?
You tell me. Evidence conveniently went walkabout. And Macready seemed to think you were pretty prejudiced. He claims that you're abusive towards him because he was gay, and knowing you, you probably were.
Yeah, I was abusive to that little piece of shit. He's a killer. I behave exactly the same way to anybody else. Gay, straight, black, white, sky, blue, pink. Okay?
The fact is, Mike, that the new statements don't show him in that light, especially Fiona Meadows' statement.
She's made a statement?
Yeah. Which completely backs up Macready's story. Says she saw...
She saw what?
She saw the entire incident and that it was an accident, not murder.
No, it's bullshit.
Is it?
I know it's bullshit. She's lying. Okay, I know she's lying. You want proof? I'll get you proof. Hello? Hello, Barbara. Barbara, it's Mike Walker here. But yeah, I know it's a bit out of the blue, but look, can you spare a minute? Yeah, well, you can call me back after. Okay, I'll be there by 8:30. Fine. Hello, Barbara. How are you doing?
I've been better.
Sorry if I was a bit sharp on the telephone. Can I get you another?
Dry white wine, please.
Last malt, no ice, dry white wine, please. You look great.
Oh, cut the crap, Mike. What do you want?
Fine. Do you remember the Macready case?
How could I forget?
Well, somehow the bastard seems to have got the PCA involved, and it's looking like he might just get an appeal.
What?
I need that videotape, Barbara.
Oh, I see. So you act like you don't know me whenever our paths cross, but as soon as you need my help, it's, oh, you look great, and can I get you a drink? You got a lot of nerve, you know?
Look, you were the one that wanted to meet up. I was happy enough to do this on the phone.
Do what exactly?
Barbara, can we call a truce? I'm sorry I behaved badly a long time ago, but it's in the past.
I heard you left Lynn.
Yep.
So what happened to... Oh, I couldn't do it to the kids.
Things change, Barbara.
Yeah. Well, I hope Pat North knows what she's let herself in for.
Look, are you going to help me or not? I'm sorry to ask you, but I wouldn't if it wasn't important.
I warned you. I warned you it could all blow up in your face.
Yeah, well, you could be right there. I've got a funny feeling it's just about to.
Mr. Rylance, I have Roger Barker, Area Television for you on line 1.
Yeah, I know. And Walker was on the case. You what? Listen, are you sure these details are correct, Roger? Yes. Because they give Walker every reason to want Macready put away. Mind you, at the same time, it doesn't do much for James's character. No charges were brought. Well, that's something, anyway. OK, sure. I'll pass it on to the PCA.
Hello?
Jane, you get me Ben Duffield, please. Urgent.
Ah, Walker. Any messages? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. OK, look, I'll be with you in about an hour or so, yeah? Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're going to charge him. Yep. Roast lamb and mint sauce all round. Yeah. See you later.
I went back to the exhibits log to check for the brandy glass, but there's no mention of any glass being bagged or sent to the forensic labs for testing. But look, this crime scene photo on the floor by the bed.
That really doesn't make sense. I mean, why take it to a psychic?
It's a mystery to me.
Fireplace?
Yes, correct. My skills have been used in a number of police inquiries. If you look through my skills...
Miss Widowski, thank you. Thank you. Why did you draw a fireplace?
I'm psychic, dear. The forces come to me. I can't direct them. I'm just a vessel. I showed it to the television producer. Nobody seems that interested in it, but it must have come from somewhere.
Come in.
Hi. Don't know if you remember me. Pat North. We worked together on a case led by Mike Walker.
I don't believe this. God, he's a gutless bastard. I can't believe he's got you doing his dirty work.
I'm sorry.
I told him the tape's gone. There are no other copies. There's nothing else I can do.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure that I...
He's got a lot of nerve sending you over here.
No, hang on. Mike doesn't even know I'm here. He didn't send me to do anything.
Oh, I see.
Look, I know that he called you.
Look, if this is to do with me and Mike, I can assure you it was over a long time ago.
What?
You didn't know, did you?
No, I didn't know.
Well, like I said, there's nothing to worry about. It was over before it started anyway.
Right.
So why are you here?
Well, I know that you worked with Mike on the Macready case.
Yeah. He told me about the reinvestigation.
And I understood that you tried to interview Fiona at the time, but you couldn't because she was too traumatised.
Oh, she was completely terrified. She could hardly speak.
So what was it about this tape?
Look, I don't want to get caught up in the middle of all this.
In the middle of all what? Please, Barbara.
Listen, I really think you should talk to Mike.
Mike? Mike, are you home?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. Come here, you.
What? What is it? What's going on? What's all this in aid of?
Hey, celebration, I hope.
Aye.
Haven't you got something to tell me? Come on, the pregnancy test.
Oh, God. How did you find out?
Hey, I'm a big bad detective. She was putting something in the bin and I saw it. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I wanted to be absolutely sure, but it's all a bit premature, isn't it?
So what was the result?
Well, it was positive, but, you can't be 100% sure.
Yeah, I know, but it was positive.
Yeah, it was.
It was. It was, so you could be.
Yeah, I could be.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Isn't that bloody marvellous?
No, hang on. You're not even divorced yet. You've already got 2 kids.
What difference does that make?
A hell of a lot of difference. Come on, Mike. Look, really, we've only just moved in together, for God's sake.
Oh, come on, Pat, it's a year next month.
Just let's be a bit realistic, Mike.
You don't want this, do you?
No, I'm not trying to say that.
Of course it is. Come on, come clean. If you're pregnant, do you want it?
It's not an it. We're talking about a child. Just think for a minute what it would mean to you and me. To us. You ready for this? You ready for it, really? Oh, shit, I need a drink. I mean, I don't feel ready for this. I don't feel prepared at all. It's not exactly perfect timing.
Yeah, for you.
Or you, Mike. You've already got 2 young kids.
They're not yours, Pat. I love you, Pat. I will push through the divorce. Let's get married if that's what you want.
I don't know, honestly. I haven't had time to think it through properly. My career is going rather well at the moment.
Don't tell me they've made you commissioner.
Oh, please, come on. Look, if I was to have the baby, that'd be 9 months out on maternity leave. I'd miss out on all the new prospects and training developments. I've been given a great opportunity with this Home Office scheme.
You have thought this through, haven't you?
No, I haven't. Not properly.
Well, thanks for talking it out with me. If it's not for you, then, hey, you do what you have to do, whatever. I'll be here for you.
Oh, will you, really? Because, frankly, it doesn't often feel that way. You say over the last few days that I've been a bit unreasonable. Well, you're not exactly easy to live with.
Yeah, OK. I've got a lot on my plate.
And I haven't. We're just not communicating at all. And I know that you've been holding stuff back from me, loads of stuff. And it hurts. It really, really hurts. We can't just talk to each other, just talk, be honest with each other. Then what is the point?
So tell me what you want.
I want us to be able to talk to each other.
I'm talking about the baby.
I think I should have an abortion. It seems to me this brandy glass could have been a vital piece of evidence. McCready claims they went to bed after the stabbing incident, where they both drank from the same brandy glass. Now, supposing that there were fingerprints and saliva from each of them to show that they'd both drunk from the same glass, well, wouldn't that prove McCready's account?
Well, I thought that initially, but now I don't see how. I don't think forensics could determine exactly when they both drank from the glass.
Okay, supposing Meadows had blood on his hands. I mean, wouldn't that prove he was still alive when he accepted the brandy?
It still doesn't prove that McCready didn't stab him.
Oh, well, at the very least, we have a vital piece of evidence that's vanished or gone missing, and as Detective Superintendent Walker led the case, he must have been aware of the vital importance of the glass.
It'll certainly be interesting to hear what Walker has to say for himself. I hate to see such a good cop go down.
Well, not if he tampered with evidence to ensure a guilty verdict of an innocent man.
See, I knew I was right.
Yeah, well, it's not definite yet.
Oh, it's pretty damn likely.
Thanks.
That's wonderful. Is Mike pleased?
Can you do us a favour, Viv? Keep this under your belt.
Oh, absolutely. First few months are crucial.
No, it's not that. I'm not sure that we're going to keep it. It's not the right time, not for me nor for Mike.
Sorry.
No, don't be. It's fine. It's fine. It's my decision. No, Mike was all for celebrating with flowers and champagne, but as I said, for me, it's the wrong time.
It's funny, isn't it? Life. Here's me, been trying for 5 years, lost 2, haven't given up yet. Time's running out. There's you. I'd give anything to be in your position. I want a child so badly. Doesn't seem fair, does it?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Why didn't you say something?
It's not something I feel comfortable talking about, and to be honest, well, working gets me over it. Well, it got me over the miscarriages, but a word of advice. Don't take this the wrong way. But your clock is ticking. You should think hard about this, Pat. You might not get a second chance. You could regret it for the rest of your life. Careers can wait. Babies can't.
Yeah. Anyway, can we change the subject, do you think?
Sure. Hey, you know the alcoholic psychic that the old woman on the caravan site mentioned?
Yeah.
Well, apparently one of the investigating officers took a key piece of evidence to her, but she can't remember his name.
Oh, come on. No, I mean, come on, Viv. Mike is not going to allow anyone to take an important piece of evidence to a psychic. Come on.
Exhibit documents were altered, Pat. That's what I heard on the grapevine.
Yes. Let me think. Brandy glass.
Oh, come on, Detective Sergeant Satchel. It's here in the crime scene photograph.
You've got to remember this was a long time ago, 8 years more. I was still a bit wet behind the ears.
What, and being wet behind the ears makes your memory faulty?
No, it doesn't.
So what is the problem here? Do you recall seeing a brandy glass or not?
I wasn't seen of crime, officer, I don't know.
It's there, in the crime scene photograph.
Yeah, well, I'd have to check my notebook. You know how easy it is to forget stuff.
Stuff? Seems to me like you deliberately chose to forget about a potentially vital piece of evidence.
Seems to me like you're putting words in my mouth.
Am I? Or did you think this evidence would just disappear? It wasn't disclosed to the prosecution or to the defense, was it?
No. At the time, it simply didn't seem important.
Well, now. That wasn't your decision to make, Detective Sergeant Satchel. Now, what you've just admitted to me is nothing short of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice.
That's not the way it was at all. I just didn't think it was important.
You didn't think it was important? McCready could be an innocent man. You chose to forget about a vital piece of evidence. First you say, well, you couldn't remember the incident. Now you say you didn't think it was important. Isn't it more realistic to say you did not think it to be important because, well, frankly, that's what suited you?
You're twisting what I'm saying.
If you are protecting someone, it really isn't worth it.
I'm not. I'm not protecting anyone.
Not even Detective Superintendent Walker.
Yes, that's just fine. If you'd just like to take a seat, the doctor will see you shortly.
What do you think of that buggy? Oh, I like that. Do you like that colour?
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
We'd bagged up all the exhibits and started logging them, ready for the forensic labs. She'd been hovering, getting in the way, especially after lunch when she'd had a skinful.
Who?
This psychic woman. Asking us if we wanted our palms read, you know, crystal ball stuff. Anyway, Frank, Detective Constable Frank Daly, the exhibits officer. There was a joke. He got all stroppy, you know, he believed in it, tarot cards and stuff. I said I'd prove it was a load of crap.
So, what, you're telling me that Detective Superintendent Walker just let you take this glass to a clairvoyant?
No. I didn't tell him I was going. I just took the brandy glass and went over to her caravan. Frank and I had a 20 quid bet on that she was no more psychic than Gypsy Rose Lee. I showed her the glass to see if she could get any vibes from it.
So just for a laugh, you took a vital piece of evidence to Miss Vidalski?
Is that her name? I didn't know. Anyway, I showed her the glass.
So, you took it out of the exhibits bag?
No, I'm not. I showed her the glass and she did this big act, rolling her eyes around like she was saying she was getting a strong message.
Did she take it out of the exhibits bag?
No. She drew a picture. It was ridiculous. It was a fireplace. It had nothing to do with anything. I went back to Frank, said he owed me 20 quid. He was annoyed. He was more than that. He was pissed off he'd lost the bet. Said he'd got to take it back to the labs. Went to grab it off me. I fooled about a bit. It dropped. It got smashed. A pair of us got into hot water with a gov.
Mike Walker?
Yeah. He gave us a right bollocking, but as he said, it wasn't much use as a piece of evidence because you can't put a time on fingerprints or blood, so it was never entered into the exhibits log.
I see. Would you describe Detective Superintendent Walker as homophobic?
I beg your pardon?
Well, we've listened to his interview tapes, and of course his interview technique is perfectly above board on tape, but McCready has accused him of being extremely homophobic and aggressive.
That's nonsense.
Not according to this detailed statement from James McCready. Now, as you were present during the initial interviews, I wonder if you could tell me if any of these disparaging remarks were used either by Walker or indeed yourself when addressing McCready. Queer. Poof. Arse bandit. Shirt lifter. And one that I hadn't heard before. Sausage jockey. And so it continues with some extremely crude remarks McCready claims were made when the tape...
This is all lies. If he was treated badly in any way, why didn't he bring it up at his trial? When Walker stopped the tape, the interview stopped. Simple as that. Walker's not homophobic, and nor am I.
Hello, Mike.
I shouldn't be too long. I'm just having a drink with a few of the lads. You want to bring back something to eat?
No, I'm just doing shop, so I'll cook. Just let me know if anything changes, okay?
Okay. Everything all right? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah, fine. See you later then.
Bye.
Now, James, you said you used to go up to Glasgow quite often when you were younger, so we sent one of our researchers up there to do a bit of digging. I have to tell you, we've unearthed some pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, well, never hidden the fact that I was no choir boy. I didn't have a record. I've admitted to Mr. Rylance that I used to get pretty out of it, mixed with a rough crowd. Not that I can remember much. I was always stoned.
So you told us you don't recall ever meeting Detective Superintendent Walker prior to the murder investigation?
Correct.
I see. Do you remember this?
No, what's all this about?
Read the article, Jimmy.
Oh, my God. This explains it. Why he had it in for me.
Yes, it seems the PC that died was Walker's friend. Now, do you remember being there?
Yeah, oh yeah. But I don't remember Walker being there. I've forgotten all about this.
Hi.
Is this for me?
No, it's a clue, though. I went to the doctor's today, and I was surrounded by babies and posters of pregnant women, and the doctor himself looked like a teenager, and we've got to talk it through, obviously, because it shouldn't be something that's just my decision.
But
you must have some idea of what I'm trying to say.
my heart is jumping out of my chest. If what you're going to say is what I think you're going to say, tell me.
I want the baby.
Good evening, and a very good evening it is too. Hi, Satch. Yeah. Thanks a bunch. Now forget it.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Everything's going to be fine. Come and give me a hug.
Well, tell me, Mike, what is it?
Hey, nothing I can't take care of.
Stop doing this. Stop shutting me out.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Talk to me.
I think Satch may have landed me in it with a PCA.
Right. What did go on in that case? You know, you've got to be honest with me. I can't handle this anymore. It's just you and me now. I'm not working on the reinvestigation, so whatever happened, we can sort it out together. I talked to Barbara.
You're still checking up on me, aren't you?
No, I needed some answers and you wouldn't talk to me. I was worried about you, Mike.
Okay, you want to know how I know McCready's a killer? I've got the scar to prove it. I see the evidence every day. He did this to me. And I got off lightly. The officer with me died. McCready got away with murder once. I wasn't going to let him get away with it again.
So, Mr. McCready, are you free on July the 3rd?
What do you mean?
We've got an appeal date.
You'll be moved to Brixton Prison for the hearing. Congratulations, Jimmy. I'm very confident.
Thank you. Thank you.
But now, in the first of a new series, Roger Barker investigates another miscarriage of justice.
In September 1992, James McCready was convicted of the murder of his lover, Gary Meadows. At the trial, McCready's defense team argued that Gary's wound was in fact self-inflicted, the result of a bizarre and tragic accident. To this day, 8 years on, McCready maintains his innocence and continues to fight for an appeal. On tonight's program, we examine evidence never brought to trial and identify manifest irregularities in the police investigation, which may just point to another miscarriage of justice. Croydon Mobile Home Estate. Once home to James Macready, his partner of 4 years, Gary Meadows, and Meadows' 7-year-old daughter, Fiona. This was to become the setting for an extraordinary investigation.
Macready lived on the estate with his gay lover.
Bled to death during the
Died from a fatal stab wound in the centre of his back.
Police were alerted to the scene by an hysterical 999 call from Macready, who told the operator, "I've killed him. He's dead."
It's understood that the little girl involved has been taken into care.
Police are not looking for any other suspect.
This is the telephone call recorded by emergency services on the morning James Macready discovered his partner was dead.
Please, help me. I've killed him. He's dead.
Calm down, please, sir. Could you just tell me your
Come
name?
quickly, I need an
and where you're
ambulance.
calling from?
I've killed him. He's dead.
Could you just tell me your name?
Help me, please.
That was the voice of James Macready, who awoke to find the man he loved lying dead beside him. He was evidently in deep shock. That telephone call proved to be an important piece of evidence in Macready's conviction. The police inquiry was led by the then Detective Inspector Michael Walker. He declined to be interviewed.
I've got here.
On the night of the tragedy, Macready and Meadows had enjoyed a night
What's
out
my screen?
in the West End.
Hello, Vera.
I'll have a beer in a minute.
Yes.
This is all bullshit making them out to be so angelic. According to her statement, they were pissed as newts. Legless, the pair of them. This is totally biased crap.
Well, I mean, the other one's been scrutinised, so you're bound to be on the defensive, aren't you?
Oh, forget it, shush.
Shush yourself.
Close friend and neighbour Vera Collingwood, who was the last person.
Can't wait to see how they set the murder. Probably put it to wind chimes and choral music.
Just about Fiona, you know. But I could tell that they were a bit merry. They liked to drink. Not any more than any of the other young chaps round here. And then I heard loud pop music, but I don't like to complain. So I went about my business for a while.
And what happened then?
Well, then I heard some shouting.
It's yours, Mike.
It was quite loud. And I looked over. But by then, they seemed to be
Mike,
drinking
it's your
and chatting in the
phone.
bedroom. Then it all settled down.